so now we go to to the second part after the break, and there we see things in practice. What do economic operators do? And the first speaker I would like to introduce, we have three, and they will give three short 10-minute pitches, and then we'll have a discussion afterwards, also joined by Martijn and by Sim. And I want to start with, and if you want to come to the floor already, Dalibor, I want to introduce to you Dalibor Stojakovic from the NPRC, a very large and old Dutch corporation of barge owners. And I've seen part of his presentation on the Day of Telematics in the Netherlands, and I thought it was really inspiring, because there you really see digitization at work. So Dalibor, please go ahead and enlighten us.
Of course, I was happy that you asked us, and that the presentation at the Telematics Day was also a good one. Today we are talking about digitalization and inland waterway transport working together or on your own. And the minute I wrote down that title in my presentation, I thought it was a funny coincidence, because our company slogan is actually "Together we can do so much more." And we answered this question for ourselves a couple of years ago, way before my time, so I will definitely not take credit. But I think that's very important. So I won't get ahead of things. My name is Dalibor Stojakovic. I'm the Program Manager Digital at NPRC. And I've been working there for about half a year, 1.5 years now. First, something about the NPRC. We are, like Henk said, an old company, maybe a little bit special because we are not a normal organization, we are a corporation. We are a corporation with approximately 145 members, individual barge owners, entrepreneurs, families who live and work on their ship. So that gives a different dynamic than when you have your own fleet. But daily there are about 200 barges sailing under our flag. Not only barges of our members, but also barges of the open markets that we use in collaboration with our partners, of course. Our focus is in dry bulk logistics. We supply basically all the European industries in different kind of sectors. We do some containers and project cargo, but dry bulk is our main focus. We have a turnover of more than 120 million, but we are still a small office company. We have about 50 employees spread out over the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and even in France, in Paris. Earlier somebody said that the digitalization or IT is not always part of the mission of a company. It's mainly focused on business. I think it was Nick who said it. But for us, digitalization is very important. Sustainability is also very important, and we aim to be a front runner in both those areas. So I only have about 10 minutes, so I won't get into detail. But a couple of years ago, NPRC decided that we should look at inland shipping in a different way. We shouldn't focus on just transporting our goods from A to B, but we should focus on working with our customers, focusing on the entire supply chain, and incorporating the wishes of all our stakeholders in that process. So we created these 4 worlds that are interconnected. They are reliability. Of course, you as a customer need to rely on the fact that your goods can be shipped anywhere, anytime. And if we can't reach it over water due to low water, high water, maybe even ice, we will switch to different modalities. Of course, our main modality of choice is barge, but inland shipping. But if we must, we will choose another one. The second one is cost transformation. We always work together with our customer to analyze the supply chain. So we don't only look at our part, what is our part in your supply chain, but we focus on the entire supply chain. So we focus on the start of the process, where did the goods come from, where are they produced, where are we going, what partners do we come across during that process, and how can we optimize it. During the contracts that we have, during our transports that we do, we analyze all the data that's processed through that supply chain. And together with that customer, we look at optimization. We look at ways to cut costs. Nobody wants to have surcharges for waiting times, for example. The third one is sustainability. I don't have to explain, that is the license to operate. Of course, it's a bit difficult. We are not the owner of our barges, but we do support our members, and we do try to help them with matchmaking, knowledge, and even financing in certain ways. And then the last part, my favorite part, of course, digitalization. You can see it as the main theme or the main enabler of our strategy, because it runs through all fields of our strategy. It's used for the reliability part. We use the data, we use water levels, predictions to analyze if we might come across difficult situations and we need to switch modalities. We use it to do the cost transformation, and we use it to monitor the sustainability, the emissions, for example, for CO2 since a while now. Well, a closer look to some of our solutions. You can see those strategic teams that are translated into business solutions, and those business solutions can in turn be translated in a product like you see here. So we have supply chain management service where our customers can see what's happening, what happened, and what will happen in the future. They can track all their goods, they can track everything that's happening with their goods. We have services where we manage to stock the silos of our customers at their production site. And that's something from a digitalization perspective, it's very nice for me, because it forces us to work together with the production site of the customer. So we don't only transport their goods, we actually make sure that they always have enough goods available to do their processes on the site. And of course, we need transparency. We have services like management information, where you can find financial information, sustainability monitor, where we can find information about the emissions. And those are not just created to have I don't know, a nice product that you can show from a marketing perspective, but it's actually used to create a sort of common ground with our customer. So whenever we have the contract negotiation at the end of the year, or maybe in the midterm, we always have the same truth. We always work with the same data as our customer works with. So we avoid discussions in the future. These all have one thing in common, and that's that most of the data is processed through the neutral iBarge app. It's an app that's been created in 2015. It's used now by over 600 barge operators, 20,000 trips on a yearly basis. And this app is the companion of a barge operator, of a skipper on board. They get all the data from us during the trip, but we also get the data back in return. So this really helps us communicating with the skipper, but it also helps us to making that gray area of transportation a little bit more clear for everybody. So very important. I think I might say this is really a game changer for us when we started using this. So when we look at the future, that's always difficult, of course, but I think we should acknowledge where we are today. And I think when I came into the inland shipping world 1.5 years ago, that this is typical for the world of inland shipping these days. These are documents. This is discharge confirmation. A skipper, Friday night, it's raining, it's cold, he discharged his ship, he needs to get to the quay, he needs to go to the cabin of the customer, he needs to get this document signed before he can leave. And he can't really leave until he has this document. So you hopefully have the person that you need available in that cabin. But let's take a shot at the future. I think it starts, of course, the theme has been named a couple of times today with data sharing, but not only doing it in a secure and trusted way, but acknowledging the commercial sensitivity of data, but also, in our case, the personal sensitivity of that data. Because we are talking about barges, we are not only talking about a business, we are talking about a home. We are talking about a family that goes on maybe on a holiday with their barge, or goes shopping and be somewhere that they're not there for just business. So operators, businesses should know that their information is safe. They should feel in control, and it should be secure and trusted. You can call it data spaces, federative data sharing, but this is, I think, the main theme that's important. So I come from port logistics, deep sea port logistics, and I was always happy, although it was complex, with the single window principle that we have in the deep sea world. I think harmonization of declarations of business to government and the single window principle would be very ideal for barge operators and for economic operators active in inland shipping. In my ideal world, a shipper starts his journey somewhere in Rotterdam, Amsterdam, or wherever, makes one notification, and all the data is available for all parties that need it at the moment that they need it, and not before and not after. And then, if we have that, I hope we can eliminate these documents, that our skipper can stay indoors when it's cold and raining, dark, wants to go home, wants to go to his kids, and he doesn't have to get that document anymore. So I think that would be a nice way forward. And it's just not about, we were just talking about it in the coffee break, not just about digitalizing the physical document, it's more about making the data available so that everybody who needs it can use it at the moment that they need it. And then the final part that takes us back to the theme of today, that's collaboration. I think that really is incorporated in the way we work as NPRC. It's actually our slogan, collaboration, working together is a must. I don't think you can always have everybody on board. What we always try to do is we find the parties that do want to go forward, name them the coalition of the willing, and with them we drive innovation. We pilot things so that we can demonstrate it to the greater group and eventually also incorporate them more in our process. But collaboration between businesses, but also between businesses and government is essential, and I think most of you can agree with that, and it's been named a couple of times. So with that, I'd like to end this short pitch, and thank you for your attention.
Dalibor, was it hard in the beginning to get the members in the wheelhouse using the app and being tracked all the time?
It's still difficult sometimes because they. Last week I spoke to someone and he said to me, "You're tracking everything. I don't want a GPS on board because you already know everything about me." So that's always the case. But I think if we can demonstrate the value for them, but also tell the honest story. So don't show them the eventual value of the perfect world. Start small and be honest with each other.
You showed the discharge certificate.
Yeah.
We had a meeting prior to this event. This is actually one of the documents most looked at by enforcement agencies, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's not the cargo documents which are all controlled or looked at very often. It's the discharge.
Yeah. The skipper actually needs to have them on board before they can leave. So hopefully he doesn't have to wait the entire weekend.
We come back to that later on. Thank you very much, Dalibor, for your excellent presentation.